Hello and welcome to HG Movie Talk. I am your host, Dean's Beans, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend, Fluffy Duffy. Hello.
You only used one describing adjective there.
Describing adjective. Nice one. Do you want to introduce our
Shut up. Oh
guest?
my God, you are the worst.
I'm not messing around today.
Okay, so today we are joined here by Coco, otherwise known as Coco GNZ. Is that how you would say it?
Yes.
Who
Yes.
is a TikToker who does stuff similar to us, that being film talk or movie based content. So thank you for joining us today,
You're
Coco.
welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, so
Um, you want to go ahead? Go ahead.
sure.
You got
So
this.
usually, when we bring a guest on, and I say usually, literally every time, we ask them to bring on their quote unquote favorite film, and you have chosen Scott Pilgrim.
That is
Uh,
correct.
but I think Harlan's going to want to ask you a bit about your TikTok before we get to that.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Anything.
Okay, I was simple questions. When did you start making TikToks?
Yeah, so I started the first week of August of last year, so literally like 7 months ago, if my memory serves me right. And yeah, I feel like I just had like a lot of ideas and creativity that I just never used, and I work
Hmm.
with a lot of influencers in my agency. I kind of run the influencer campaigns and running like the creative strategies, and I just felt like I was looking at all these people create content that I wanted to create, so I just said like, whatever, let's try it and let's see what I can make of it. And it's been a journey ever since. So, 7 months, not too
If
long.
you don't mind me asking, what job outside of TikTok do you have?
Oh yeah, so I'm an influencer campaign manager. So I basically run campaigns when it comes to this big company that you guys may have heard of. It's called Epic Games, and they run anything along the lines of Fortnite, Fall Guys, Rocket League, all that type of stuff. So when it comes to like you seeing a TikTok video of them talking about like the new chapter or like this new skin coming into the game, I basically go and talk to those influencers, get them that deal, and then check their
Wow.
video and make sure everything's good. So it's fun. You get to meet a lot of cool people, and that's kind of like what brought me into the space. I was like, everyone's doing it. I feel like I have something to give, so let me try to do this too.
I'll
Colin,
get
did
back
you
to the
just start
Fortnite.
geeking out
Yeah,
about?
a little
Yeah, yeah.
bit.
It's fun.
Me
It's
and
fun.
me and Dean playing Fortnite sometimes, and he's got awful. But anyways, um, how long does it take you to make a video? Because your videos are very well produced.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think if we really look at the whole timeline of things, kind of like, and you would know this too, Harlan, like, and Dean, like writing an idea, coming up with an idea that's not only of your interest, but you think other people would be really interested in listening to, takes a little bit of while. So I have like my own, I scribble all my ideas, and then when I have that idea down, it's just a matter of like a hook, uh,
Hmm.
three key points of information, and then like a little joke just to kind of like break the seriousness of the info. And then filming. And I would say I am the most OCD person when it comes to filming because I'm all about, oh, this sounds right. This didn't sound right. Oh, I didn't hit the right tone on this. So I could film a 30-second video, but the raw footage is like 20 minutes of me just repeating the same line over. And it's like insanity, like literally
That
insanity.
that is how Harlan records his videos.
Yeah, I can
I
show you.
not care less. I'm just it's before we started recording, we said it's a choice to be unprofessional on this podcast.
Dude,
It's a choice for my TikTok as well. It's just a choice for my life in general. Just
I've
anything I do.
and I want that and I want to get to that point, but sometimes I'm like, I have this hook, like I'm working on this video about the Flash movie being delayed for 5 years, and
Mm.
I repeated that line maybe 50 times. And guess which version I ended up using on the final cut?
The first or
The
second.
first one. The
Yeah.
first one. It's like insane. So that kind of like I wish I could get that down to like 10 minutes, but when it comes to that, cutting the video up and adding it all together to those 30 seconds and then getting the right clips, kind of to explain what's happening. I would say like a 2 to 3 hours, really, if I'm like focused onto the video, 2 to 3 hours subtitling the video, getting the right song. 2 to 3 hours is what I really, really would spend on a video. Anything other than that, it would have to be something like a big project, like
Even
focusing on.
still, 2 to 3 hours. That's pretty good. Like my video, I do all my editing off iMovie, which isn't the most prestigious editing software, and it still takes me like 2, 3 hours sometimes. So the
Yeah,
fact that you got it down and I don't think you use TikTok subtitles. Just put
No,
in.
I don't. I use like auto captioning on Premiere Pro, and then I just kind of change it to the style that I want. But it's still like a pretty it still takes a while. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes I
No,
feel,
yeah, especially
oh
just
yeah.
TikTok subtitles. You can just
Oh yeah. And then
chuck
it's
it on.
frustrating when you get the video up and the video doesn't do as well as you thought it did, and you're like, wow, like 2-3 hours there.
We
Thank
don't
you.
talk about that. We don't talk
Yeah,
about
we don't talk about
that.
that. But yeah.
Yeah, nice. What surprised me there is you've managed to build up like a decent following in a short amount of time. It's very impressive. I today had someone comment on my TikTok. Didn't this guy blow up in 2021? And I'm like, are they trying to call me old or something?
Prehistoric or something? No. I feel
I was
like
like,
everyone's on their own little journey. Don't you think kind of, takes a while for others. I don't really know. I mean, Dean, like you probably like you've been doing this for how long?
since when whoever this TikToker who clearly has deeply affected me emotionally said. So yeah, almost 2 years now. It'll be over
Okay.
2 years now, actually. Just
Okay.
over.
Okay. That's actually pretty like that's really long and you've been staying consistent at it, so that's actually like something to look,
I
appreciate too.
hit 2 years too, and we didn't.
No,
Wow,
I didn't do
Really?
look at
anything.
us.
I did something last year. It was end of January is when it is.
Yeah, mine was sometime in February. So look
Yeah.
at us,
Harlan
TikTok
only started
dinosaurs.
because I
That's
inspired him.
crazy.
That's like only a quarter true.
Okay, cool. Should we get onto the film?
Yes, I'm
So
excited.
we never warn our guests about what's about to come.
Mm-mm,
Maybe that sentence is worrying Coco. It shouldn't really.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
We always like to start these with a little quiz because Harlan is known on TikTok for having fun facts about every film.
Yeah.
So we like to play a little game called Are You Smarter Than a Fluffy Duffy? Where I have 5 trivia questions about the film you chose, Scott Pilgrim, and all you need to do is get more right than him. Before we start, I'll warn you, I think we must have done this like 10 times now. I feel like we've been doing this for a while. Harlan's won like twice.
I think I
So
only won once. I think it was one time.
he's only won once. Okay. So
So watch out.
either take that
Okay.
as inspiration, just take that as like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do fine, or just like, oh no, if I do badly, that's gonna look even worse.
That sounds good. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I've got 5 questions, multiple choice. Well, 4 of them are multiple choice. I'll let Coco choose first, and then if he's wrong, we will go to Fluffy Duffy. Do you know
Okay.
why I just called you Fluffy Duffy? That was weird.
Yeah, it's not like we, have slept in each other's houses.
I've never slept in your house.
Yeah, I know. I
Okay.
said that as it was coming out of my mouth, but I hope you just let it go, but you didn't. So let's continue.
Oh, okay. Question number 1. Which one of these teas is not mentioned in this film? There's the famous clip where they go through many teas. I've got 4 teas here. One of them is not mentioned in the film. You've just got to tell me which one is not mentioned. When I say,
Okay.
I mean, they're all random trivia questions like this that I write just so Harlan can't revise is the goal with
I'm excited
questions
about
like
this.
Okay. Constant comment, liver disaster, blueberry with lemon, ginger without honey.
Which one isn't in the
Which
list?
one isn't in the film?
Liver disaster. Wait, can you say that again one more time? Just so I can hear them
Constant
more.
comment, liver disaster, blueberry with lemon, ginger without honey.
Don't remember blueberry with lemon being one of the choices. But also liver disaster sounds like something that would stick with me, so I'm gonna go with blueberry with lemon.
So you're going blueberry with lemon is not in the film.
It's not. I
I
was
read-
totally like,
I read the graphic novel and I watched the movies enough times to know I would have heard something like that.
no,
It's something about green tea with lemon. Green tea with lemon is in the movie.
I wrote it down. So it's blueberry, raspberry, ginseng, sleepy time, green tea with lemon, green tea with lemon and honey, liver disaster, ginger with honey, ginger without honey, vanilla, almond, white truffle, blueberry, chamois, vanilla, walnut, constant comment, and Earl Grey.
That's
I had,
beautiful.
I had to live up to the British stereotype there for the tea. Okay.
And followed by, did you make some of those up?
So that is 1 point to Coco. Next question. Who suggested to Edgar Wright that this film should have a pre-title credit sequence? So someone famous suggested to Edgar Wright that this film should have a pre-title credit sequence. I've got 4 options here. You just have to tell me who it was. Your options are Quentin Tarantino, Simon Pegg, Kevin Feige, or Kevin Smith.
Oh,
you cut out there. We couldn't hear you. Sorry.
yeah.
Do I go first?
Yeah, go on.
Yes.
Can you name them again one more time?
So you got Tarantino, Simon Pegg, Kevin Feige, Kevin Smith.
I remember Tarantino being involved in some way, but like very small. Simon Pegg. I'm gonna say Tarantino because I just remember his name being attached to the movie. So I'm just gonna go with his name.
Tarantino is correct.
Oh,
Nicely done. So Tarantino and Kevin Smith were shown an early version of this film.
awesome.
And that was
Okay,
Tarantino's
good.
suggestion, and I just tucked Simon Pegg in there because obviously he's a constant collaborator. Harlan, you know what? I'll be nice. You can answer this next question first, okay?
I knew it was Tarantino. Like before you even like said the answer, I'm like, oh, that's Tarantino. I hope he doesn't guess it. It's okay. Let's continue.
Okay, Harlan, you get to answer this question first.
Thanks, Dean.
Brie Larson wanted to join this film because she was a big fan of what? Okay.
Oh no.
So she specifically asked to be in this film because she was a fan of one of the following things. Your options are Scott Pilgrim, Edgar Wright, Michael Cera, or video games.
So we have Edgar Wright, Michael Cera, video games. What was the first option?
Scott Pilgrim. Like the graphic.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go for the one that seems so strange it can't be true.
Mm-hmm.
Like something you would have just thrown in there to throw me off, but I'm going to go for that one because I think you're trying to throw me off by trying to think that
I think you're overthinking this.
Video games.
No.
Dang it. Okay.
Coco, you've got to guess
whatever.
now between the options of Scott Pilgrim, Michael Cera, or Edgar Wright.
I'm Michael Cera. What else? What Edgar Wright and who else?
Scott Pilgrim.
I'm gonna guess. I don't know. Something's Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright is correct.
That was crazy.
Okay.
Oh no.
Harlan, you get to answer the next question first.
Okay.
Which one of these following actors did not audition to be in this film? Sebastian Stan, Robert Pattinson, Betty Gilpin, and Zoe Kravitz.
So we got Sebastian Stan, Zoe Kravitz, and who are the middle two?
Robert Pattinson, Betty Gilpin.
I don't know who Betty Gilpin is.
She's from Glow.
Oh yes.
Wait, Dean, repeat the question one more time, just so I can.
Which
also
one
think.
of these following actors did not audition to be in this film?
Sebastian. Wait, no, I take it back. Zoe Kravitz.
Correct.
Nice. I was gonna say.
How did you figure that out?
I have no idea.
It's just the fact that you changed your mind.
Well, Sebastian Stan. I was about to say that, but I'm like, no, I could see him playing like one of the evil X's, so I took that back.
He actually wanted to play Chris Evans's role, the evil X, like the stunt double.
Yeah, I could see him playing the vegan. Like out of anybody, I feel like the vegan it would make most
Brandon
sense.
Routh. Yeah.
Okay. So it may seem like all is lost as the score is 1-3. But this next question, you can both give basically the answer to the next question is a number. I'll let you both give an answer.
Okay.
Whoever's closest gets the point. But if Harlan gets the number exactly right, he wins.
Oh, geez, Louise. Okay. Pressure's on.
Okay. Harlan, do you want to go first or second on this question?
Second.
Okay.
Wow.
That's risky. But
between the cast in this film, how many superhero characters have they portrayed in television or film? So how many characters from superhero film / TV have the actors in this film portrayed
Okay.
or are going to portray?
Okay.
Sorry. So it's will portray. Sorry. Yeah. Have portrayed or are going to portray.
So
Just got-
this is just like a number question, right?
Yeah, just a number.
Okay. So superhero, what are we counting superheroes at? Like, do they have to be in Marvel, DC,
I would
or
say
do they
these
just
are
have to have
all
power?
these are all Marvel DC.
Okay. One-
How many superhero characters have they portrayed or are they going to portray in film or television?
Okay. I think I have a pretty solid answer.
Okay. What's your answer?
Oh, I hope I'm right. 5.
5.
And I'll mention them all too. Wait, I don't want to mention them all.
Harlan
'Cause-
answer
No,
first,
no,
just in case
actually.
you forget.
Dang it. That was so close. I'll say 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
So Harlan only wins if he's exactly right. If he's closer, then that's not a win because you still got.
But
3
that's a
questions.
close loss.
That's a close loss, and I can tell you that the result of today was a close loss. The correct answer was 8.
What?
Yeah.
What? I counted
So-
Brandon Routh twice, Chris Evans twice.
Yeah.
Wait, why
And
Brian
then
Ralph twice?
Chris Evans twice. Just for the listeners, we've got the Atom from the Arrowverse.
Ah, shucks.
Superman, obviously, and then we've got Human Torch, Captain America for Chris Evans. Brie Larson is obviously Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead is Huntress in Birds of
Oh.
Prey.
What?
And then there's 2 actors who will be playing superhero characters very soon.
In the cast?
Yeah. Aubrey Plaza is in Agatha Coven of Chaos.
Oh.
Ah, shucks.
And I did not realize this. Jason Schwartzman is voicing the Spot in Spider-Verse.
Oh.
Wow. There's no shot I would have gotten that.
Yeah.
good.
The only way you would have got that is if you just guessed over.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Well, I did guess over. I counted 5 and I put an
Oh, did
extra
you?
one just.
But you forgot.
I forgot
Huntress.
Brown and Ralph as the Atom. I got the Huntress. I knew that
got
one.
Huntress.
Yeah.
I did
You
not.
got Huntress, but not Brandon Routh as Adam.
Well, I got him as Superman, obviously.
Yeah.
But I had never watched Legends of Tomorrow. I saw like the one episode he was in the Flash of.
That's
And yeah,
interesting because my brain did not make that connection until that was I figured out Aubrey Plaza was in Agatha before I figured out that Mary
I
Elizabeth.
haven't even seen her in
I didn't
that
think
movie.
about that.
But I
Wait.
just remember her because that's a chick from Sky High too, and she was in a DC movie.
That's funny. Okay, cool. Well, that concludes our quiz, and we can answer once again that yes, your average TikToker is smarter than a fluffy Duffy. This
Sorry.
segment was just invented for the record for me to just make fun of Harlan. That's the only reason this exists. I actually
Yeah.
messaged Coco all the question answers before.
I do it. You
Yeah.
did it again. I told you to stop that.
Okay, so Scott Pilgrim. We should probably start talking about the film.
Yeah, preferably.
Coco, what made you choose this film?
I think it's just I think for me it's like the perfect definition of like pop culture in just one movie. I think there's so many elements in there that just kind of work. The action, the comedy, just like the humor is just I don't know. It just fit me so well, and this was a movie that I watched when I was like really young. And usually when I watch movies really young, they don't have the same meaning for me as they do when I become an adult. But this one was just kind of like it still holds up to this day. The cast was just phenomenal back in the day too, because I knew Brandon Routh from Superman. I knew Michael Cera from Superbad and other comedy movies and stuff like that. So
Any more super films involved?
oh yeah,
Superman,
yeah.
Superbad,
Super. Yeah, all those supers were just in there. And I love the music. And I grew up playing the bass, so I really saw myself within Scott and his love for like video games and retro stuff. Like all of his interests that he had in the movie. So I really saw myself in Scott, and I don't know, I just grew up loving the movie so much. I have like a poster in my right here to my right. Just
No, I totally because like My favorite Spider-Man movie. It's the first one.
Yeah.
Even though I know that's wrong.
Mhm.
Like I know like objectively Spider-Man 2 is it's better.
But there's a
But Spider-Man-
favorite and better movie. That's a favorite
Exactly.
movie.
And that's why I didn't ask you what's the best movie for you. But
Oh yeah.
What's the best movie? Just message him.
Changes topics.
Yeah. I always have a soft spot for Scott Pilgrim. I have read the graphic
The graphic
novels
novel. Me too.
when I was younger. I don't really remember them, to be honest. So I remember like the first time I watched the film was after I'd read all of them. But the reason this film is like such an iconic film for me is because Edgar Wright has always been by quite a margin my favorite director. So I've seen all his films enough times, and I enjoy watching Scott Pilgrim in the way of like this is an Edgar Wright film, just to the max. Like I think if this film went 1% more Edgar Wright, it would end up being just obnoxious or unwatchable or everything. They just like they reached the limit of Edgar Wrightness of like the quick cuts and the editing and the humor that you can get in and still have the film be good. And they were like, let's stop it there.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Arlen. Go.
When I was watching this, like I was like literally amazed because when I make TikToks, like it's like I try to use every millisecond I have to like
get in the point right away.
But like for this, I'm like in this movie he does not waste a single frame.
Nope.
Like every frame of it is like something's going on that's catching your eye and keeping you in it.
Agreed. And also not only that, but like the way he kind of like incorporates like a lot of stuff that were never really incorporated into movies. Like I feel like the whole integration of like making the movie be its own movie, but also integrating parts of like video games, kind of like when when they're fighting and they're adding like all that slow-mo scenes and stuff like that, and like the little coins falling. Like that stuff is like it's not big, but it just adds so much like value to the movie. I mean, in my personal opinion, like when Scott goes to the bathroom and he's peeing and he has like a pee meter and the pee meter just goes down as he like pees. I think that's just so funny, like so clever.
It is definitely the kind of thing where they've thought about every scene and they've gone, what can we put into this scene just to make it like I think what I've always found interesting about this film is something I heard Edgar Wright say about this film, I think before I even watched it, and that's like he filmed it how he would film a musical, but instead of them singing songs, they would have fights. It's like all the fights are staged as if they're about to burst into song in a musical. And I think, as someone who is a big fan of the musical genre, I think it's such an interesting way. And when you kind of notice that, you kind of see all the action in all these films in a different light.
I agree on that too. Yeah.
And I was watching this. Michael Cera in this movie at least appears to do like at least 70% of his own stunts.
Yeah. I think that's one of the fun facts about him. Like he wanted to do like half of like all the stunts that were in this movie.
Yeah, it's crazy because you see his face for most of it. And unless, Edgar Wright had some deep fake technology back in 2009, like it's crazy.
2009, that makes me feel old. That for sure will do it.
Yeah, so, some guy just insulting you on the TikTok comments. I'm not letting it go, okay? You couldn't.
You're still on this?
It didn't really bother me. I just, when you said that you started TikTok 8 months ago, my brain just said, I've been doing this a while. And I went, oh yeah, that guy on TikTok today. No, it did. I'm joking. It did really affect me. Anyway.
I know. We know.
Sometimes if it makes you feel any better, sometimes I get scared that I'm just gonna hit like a wall and then not keep growing. And I don't know why I think that way or what scares me, but I'm just gonna hit like a roadblock and that's gonna be it. Like,
and if you do, odds are you'll be okay. I promise you. What's your guys' favorite song from this show movie? I got it there. It's not a show, not a musical, it's a movie. Mine's probably oh come on, what's it called? I think it's Dumpster Fire.
Yeah, Garbage Truck.
Garbage Truck. Yeah,
yeah,
I was close.
Yeah, I love that song.
That would be up there, I think.
That's one I like listen to weekly.
Really?
Yeah,
it's good.
Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Black
That's
Sheep.
a really good one.
I think this is gonna just be kind of like, I don't know, just like very average. But just the We Are Sex Bomb one is just like a go-to. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I can listen to that song with the lyrics and without the lyrics, like the instrumental version, like the beginning of the movie, like they do kind of like a half instrumental version, and I
Hmm.
just jam to that song all the time. It's like so high paced and so high energy.
Yeah, it is an interesting one because obviously I think something Edgar Wright is known for is the music in all his films, but this one like uses music in such a different way to all his other films because a lot of it is performed, and I think it's just nice to see that.
Yeah,
as well.
Right.
I agree.
Okay, what is everyone's favorite part of this film? It's a question we always ask, and our guests
Ooh.
normally struggle to come up with an answer for. Colin, do you want to go first?
No, I think you actually do, Dean, because you were so
Oh,
excited to ask this
Oh yeah,
question.
yeah.
You just can't wait to talk about your favorite part that's you're about to say.
yeah. I mean, I've been planning this, and what I'm about to say is something that has been thought out.
Oh,
Yeah, I I think it would have to be the final fight
At
Final Fight
at
is
the
really good.
club.
because yeah, because I think the action in this film is the thing in this film that's really unique when you compare it
Hmm.
to whatever else, and I think that is the strongest action scene.
I like that. That's a good scene. I feel like it's overlooked because there's like two parts to it. The part before he dies and the part after he
Yeah,
dies. And then the second part where he died, like after he dies, is like where it really like, gets good.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is the vegan bit with like with with the guy that is vegan, and then when he's outed as not being vegan.
Deveganized.
As an ex-vegan, I find that very funny.
Um, I think my favorite scene would definitely have to be the one where they go against the Katayanagi twins, and it's just like
Mm,
a amp to amp, and
that one is really good.
it just starts really like simple with with the twins just going off with their EDM sounds, and then Scott's band just kind of like plays like a regular tone, and then they get destroyed, and then after that it just becomes like this Yu-Gi-Oh battle where they're like they all have like their own avatars come out and fight each other. I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool.
yeah, definitely.
And the CGI and like of the monsters is like it still holds up. Like
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
stylized in a specific way where it's not going to age poorly. The entire movie is that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because Edgar Wright takes his time. If
The
only he could do Ant-Man.
the only part he did, and that's the funny
Mhm.
thing.
Well, kind of.
The only CGI though that like you can tell like, oh, this is CGI, but it's like funny because you can tell, and I think it was meant to be that way, is when Chris Evans is grinding on his skateboard down the rail.
Mm.
And you can like definitely tell he's like just jumping off, like not even popping off the board. He's just like flipping from rail to rail. You can just see him go down.
If I had one complaint about this movie, it was that we don't get more Chris Evans.
Oh yeah. All of them actually. All of them are just kind of like very
Yeah,
quick
I
and
was I
go.
was about to agree, and then my mind went, oh, and this actor, and this actor. I think there's too many
Yeah,
great
that's fair.
Yeah.
actors in this film to.
Oh, I have a good question for about this movie.
Go on.
Who do you think Scott Pilgrim should have ended up with? Because there's two versions of the ending of this movie.
There are.
There's one with knives and there's one with Ramona Flowers.
Ramona for sure.
I think we voted too.
I
Yeah.
agree, but also part of me wants to say neither. It's
Yeah,
like
That's
toxic.
true.
half the point of the film is that Scott Pilgrim's just an awful guy, and I think
He is an
that there
awful
is
person.
there is a version of this film that works when he just like gets what's coming for him, I guess. But
I feel
I
like anybody that like is dies on the hill of it should be knives should be put on a watch list.
Yeah. I was just about to say for everything she did, like a psychopath, that's just like psychopath behavior, like dyeing
Yeah,
your hair
and
the same color as someone else, stalking them and dating their best friend just to get to them clothes. I was like, oh, dude.
wait, are you saying this is stuff I shouldn't be doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
No.
Dane.
No one should be doing this.
Okay, cool. Let me just write that down.
He
Note to
actually did
self.
dye his hair a couple days ago, but it got punched out.
You punched the blue out of her hair.
I just Harlan can say I bring this up on the podcast a lot. I just love silly little things like that when there's just something really nonsensical and dumb and silly like that, and like the film leans into that and it doesn't like feel the need to explain all the dumb stuff that's
Yeah.
happening.
Or like when they're walking past and like, how do you know
Oh, I
Amy
literally-
Adams? And he walks by and like her eyes just go like little circles. Yeah. So funny.
You two both did a good job of that noise.
Yeah. We do our own sound effects on the
Go on.
videos.
Go ahead, Dean.
No, I
Go
can't
ahead.
I've taught myself how to click though, Harlan.
Hey, that's
Snap, bro.
good.
It's
You guys call it click?
Yeah, we've had this
call
conversation
it
because we've
clicking?
had this conversation how I can't do it. And then you were all like, "Ugh." This is just I'm really annoying all our listeners now, just clicking in their ears.
It gets easier. It gets easier.
Yeah, see, Dean gets free healthcare, so I try to pull out everything I can. on
You
him.
brought up the healthcare this time. It wasn't even me.
I just have to beat you to it before you can get on me about it.
Wow. No, you think so little of me. Oh, okay.
Oh, Dean, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If this movie was to be filming cast in a different area in the world, where would it be? If you had to choose, like a foreign country.
Italy.
Really? What would it
sound like?
what would it sound like?
I'd just ask you first.
Dang it.
Italy. That's
Like,
actually a good. I was gonna say like somewhere like New York City or like the suburbs of like
Okay.
Los Angeles.
So it would probably sound like, Mamma mia, I am Ramona Flowers Evil X. It'd probably sound like that.
Yeah.
Every character in the whole movie.
Yeah, like Jared Leto, House of Gucci.
Oh,
Oh, I'm taking over the conversation real quick.
Okay.
Haunted Mansion trailer that just came out. Like
No, did it come out?
Yeah.
I've been saying for ages that this film isn't real. Did a trailer come out?
a trailer
Yeah.
came out.
yeah. I haven't
Oh.
watched it all the way yet because I don't
I-
think I'm in the right mindset to watch it.
No, I need to. I know I'm doing it as soon as this ends, just because I need to. It's such a great cast, and then they put him in there.
So, Coco, Dean has like an absurd hatred.
I think it's
For
entirely
Jared Leto.
personal.
I could see why. I mean, I'm not gonna go and tell you you shouldn't, but I could see why.
This
Like
film has such a good cast.
Owen
Jared
Wilson
Leto.
looks great in it.
Rosario Dawson, Lakeith Stanfield, Owen Wilson, Tiffany Haddish, Danny DeVito, Winona Ryder, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dan Levy.
And Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I got to like
I just
watch.
don't. I like Disney. Why did Disney make that decision? Did they not think, oh wait, people don't like this guy? Oh, this.
No, they did it because they need a reason to keep the ride around.
Yeah, no, but no. What I'm saying, why did they cast him?
Oh, because they knew you would go see it then.
Yeah, I probably wasn't gonna watch this film.
I think Disney has like some sort of like relationship with like Jared Leto because he also is gonna like be taking part in Tron,
Yeah,
and I'm just like, where's that coming from?
Well, he's actually been involved with Tron, I think before like the most recent movie came. He's been involved with the making of this third movie forever.
The public did not ask for his involvement.
No.
We did not ask for Jared Leto to be involved in
I feel
Tron.
like people do just groan when they hear his name, and I don't know if this is just my bias, but
Did
I
you
know I just groan.
did he have to cut his hair for House of Gucci?
I don't think so, because the man still has luscious.
Is there
locks.
like a clause in his contract
Is
that
his
like
hair- is
he
it
can
all
keep his
real?
hair?
It wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if there's some extensions in there.
There probably is. I mean,
It is pretty long.
The living vampire can afford extension.
Just Morbius 2, let's get that going.
what was on Jared Leto's Instagram story, what was like the subtitle for Morbius 2?
It's Morbin time.
Oh, it's Morbin time. Yeah. I can't wait for that movie.
He knows it's a joke. He knows himself. Like the movie was
I
such a
don't think he
joke.
does.
I
I
don't
think
think he's
he
as onto it as everyone gives him credit for.
No, you guys know the what's that actor Tyrese Gibson? Like there was the
Mhm.
first week when everyone was joking about that movie. Like everyone was joking about that movie in a sense of like this is the greatest movie to ever come out in cinema. And that was
Yeah.
like the whole joke. And he really took that seriously and went on Instagram and put a photo of the movie with like all these comments on Twitter. He's like, we did it, like it's been a great journey. Like
What
people were
he
like,
posted on Instagram was someone faked a Martin Scorsese tweet saying this is true cinema, and then he posted it on Instagram and then deleted it when someone told him it wasn't the real Martin Scorsese, complimenting Morbius.
he's like, I don't think he gets the joke.
Bro, Tyrese Gibson. He's the guy who has an issue with The Rock, right?
I think so. I
Yes,
mean,
yes,
Yeah.
but I
Which is
think
why
he
he's
just. I'm not. Yeah, I was about to say I'm not getting into it as if like I'm not getting between.
Oh yeah,
But like
they
as in
I'm not
it's the
fixed.
whole Vin Diesel Dwayne Johnson thing, I think.
Oh right. They're
Yeah, so
so silly.
someone made a tweet from from uh Martin Scorsese which says I was aghast to find out it was based on a comic book. This is the truest height of cinema, and even I cannot top it. A wise man admits when he is wrong, and I was wrong. I apologize to all comic book movies. Hashtag Morbius sweep was the fake Martin Scorsese tweet.
You know, he saw that and he felt so good. He's like, dude.
I knew it.
And then he captioned it. Wow, wow, wow. I can't believe what just happened. Whoa, cheers and hats off to you, Daniel Espinosa. This is so amazing, King. This is the king of kings of cinema, Martin Scorsese. This is huge. I feel
Oh
sorry for him
no.
when I see stuff like that.
But that just shows that he hadn't seen the movie though. Like Tyrese Gibson did not watch Morbius.
He
But
did
some
not.
with some of these film stars, I just I don't know if there is a disconnect between like because I guess if you are there every day shooting the film and you've read the script and like you knew what the film was supposed to be and then you were there for all the reshoots, then you finally see the final product. I think you're too close to it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying like I'm not saying he thought it was the greatest film ever. I'm just saying it. I think it would be easy to not realize how bad your film is if you were there every day.
But I think it's also like different because when you're reading the script, you're imagining this movie like in some
Looking
sort of
good.
way. Like, yeah, like in your head, it looks like this is great. But then through the director's eyes, he's looking at something completely different that, you know,
Yeah.
and then you look at
Right.
it and you're like, wow. It's like if I gave you the ingredients for like a pasta and you looked at the ingredients and you're like, wow, you can make a great pasta with that. And then you get the dish and it's like,
All
wow, like
expired.
all expired. It's like overcooked pasta. All the tomatoes are just like it's the skin is just like laying in there still
Ah.
watery.
Didn't Tyrese Gibson's partner in this film have a metal arm and that was just never explained?
I think it
Yes.
was
And like he was supposed to be like a superhero. We've gone so long without talking about Morbius on this podcast.
I think that's it. That's have you mentioned Morbius outside, like to your people at all?
To my
me.
Outside of
people.
this podcast? No, Dean.
Yes, but it was last time I
Oh.
mentioned Morbius was when I said to you that I'd rather rewatch Thor Morbius than Thor: Love and Thunder.
Which is a wild statement.
But I'm not.
That is wild.
I'm just saying. I've changed my mind because now I've watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I want to figure out which one I like less out of Love and Thunder and Quantumania. But
Well, that's a good
before
question.
Quantumania came out, I was just like, I'd rather rewatch Morbius because I feel like it's bad. It's bad in a way that I can laugh at it. Where I don't think I think Love and
Mm.
Thunder is just a bit like some of it's good and then the rest of it kind of just gets under your skin. And you're like, this annoys me that this is bad.
Yeah,
Obviously, Love and Thunder is 10 times better than Morbius, but
I'll take Love and Thunder over Quantumania to be honest.
I think I would too.
Yeah,
I think I would too. But I will rewatch Love and Thunder.
I rewatched it for the second time and then I realized the pacing like annoys me about that movie too. Like the
Quantumania or
yeah,
Thor?
the pacing of Quantumania is just so bad. Like I think it spends too much time where it doesn't need to spend time, and it spends too much time where it doesn't need to spend time, and it doesn't spend enough time where it should be spending time.
Yeah, and then there's
Yeah.
some really weird editing choices like drink,
Goo, drink the goo.
and then it just cuts to yeah. In
Yeah,
like I was reading today about how
Good
Edgar
job.
Wright had an Ant-Man trilogy planned, and like I think that would have been so interesting because he's never done a sequel, and just let him make Ant-Man. You know,
Yeah. Well,
I think that was a big like crossroads. I think and Edgar Wright leaving Ant-Man was quite a big crossroads for the MCU in terms of director's vision and
yeah.
studio vision. But
The new director, the new writer that wrote this movie, you guys know he writes for um like comedy, like late night comedy shows. Like he writes for like Jimmy Kimmel, and
yeah,
he wrote like 5
Hmm.
episodes of Rick and Morty, and he doesn't have much under his belt on other than like writing some Oscar or like award show script.
interesting.
Yeah,
there's
you should look
stuff. There's
into it.
stuff. I've read some interviews with him about how he was like surprised that this film was bad, and like right now he's writing the script for Avengers, and like he's trying to like figure out what didn't work in Ant-Man, and yeah,
That's
I don't know.
scary.
That is
Like
so scary
that
because
he
he's
doesn't know what went wrong with Ant-Man Quantumania, because in my opinion, I feel like it's relatively glaring.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that, from what it seems, is rewrites and
Hmm.
and editing and like post production decisions because like the ending was completely reshot
but
and
even if the ending was reshot, it wouldn't have saved the movie. Like
yeah, but I think the ending kind of just solidified all these things I didn't like about the film. So I don't like, you know, you can't blame it all on him. I think maybe he'll go and watch the film and be like, oh, this isn't exactly what I wrote, and what I
I mean,
wrote
he
was better
hasn't
in
watched it.
this way. Yeah. Jonathan Major says he's not going to watch it. Fair enough, bro.
Wow, that says a lot.
But to be fair, he says he doesn't watch his own movies.
No.
Yeah.
So
That's Johnny Depp does the same.
Yeah. A lot of actors do. It is yeah. It's an interesting one. It was quite funny how like the day it was released, Kevin Feige was like, and we're slowing down production on everything and we've delayed the Marvels, and you're like, oh yeah, at least they realize. I
feel
think
like
it's
they
going to be
should.
fine.
I feel like they
they've got,
should.
yeah. I think they've got time to course correct, and they will. But they don't have time to course correct and bring Edgar Wright back, so it's not worth it.
it's so true.
Because all the best parts of that
That's
first
fun.
Ant-Man film are the Edgar Wright bits. Like you can see like the humor and the editing style and that sort of thing
Yeah.
in the first Ant-Man film, and then yeah, and then you know
I think Peyton Reed gets a little bit of a bad rap because like he's competent.
he's fine. Yeah, I think
But
it's interesting that Marvel doesn't seem to trust him because he was really campaigning to direct Fantastic Four,
Oh.
and
yeah,
they were like, no, no,
It's
you
just
can.
like the vibe of like I think the really thing that changed this I don't know like Ant-Man for me was like I feel like the first two movies like it's just like about a small character having small stakes like a heist, and then just
Mhm.
to put him in like a certain like in a world like like microscopic world with like different creatures, it just completely changes the tone. Like I feel like what made them special the first two movies was it almost felt like a heist movie, like a comedy heist movie. I think that's really what's a lot of solidified Ant-Man as a character, and then throwing him
Yeah,
into like a quantum realm all of a sudden is just like I was just like okay,
you got to
I
admit,
guess.
Quantumania did achieve the impossible in the fact that it has made people like those first two Ant-Man films so much more.
Yep.
Because
Did you know
especially
people
that?
are
with the wall.
so much more positive about those films now than they were
Oh yeah,
before Quantumania came out.
I defended those two, but I not the second one, but I defended the first film. I was like,
I think the
that
first
is
film's great. I really like the
yeah.
first one.
No, I love the first one. I I think I used to claim Ant-Man the Wasp as my least favorite MCU movie prior to Phase 4. But I just rewatched it recently, like for the lead up of Ant-Man 3, and it wasn't bad.
I think it's
I
pretty
enjoyed
good.
myself a lot
It's
more.
got good scenes. It's got some solid stuff.
Yeah.
Nice stuff. There you go. Cool. Yeah. So, Harlan,
Right.
have you not read Scott Pilgrim?
No,
You
I
should.
don't. I don't read.
Harlan doesn't know how to.
Oh,
Dean,
Sorry.
told you not to say that.
That's why
it's
I
a.
have to caption all his videos and reply to his comments.
I feel like if you like reading source material a lot of times from like movies that we get or like shows or anything other like piece of media that you get is like I don't know like it's not really important, but I think it just brings such like a different perspective
Yeah,
into
definitely.
like what you think the character was done right or what could have done better, or maybe it just helps you to see the character in much like a better appreciate the character, you know what I mean?
And,
Um,
and sometimes that perspective makes things worse.
yeah, it's
And
it's like a
like,
blessing and a curse.
yeah, I think if it's like, but that's if it's a bad adaptation, and I think this is a good adaptation because they did trim stuff, obviously, because you
Yeah.
you, you have to. But it's not like one of those things. There are certain. I'm trying to think of an example. Stuff like a series of unfortunate events. I don't know why this was one I thought of film, where they like tried to tell the story of however many books in one film, and you're trimming too much. This needs to be spread out more. But here, it fits into one film. It's nicely trimmed. It's got all the key components there, and like it is the same story, just told in a different medium. And I think it really works here. I think this is a really strong example of adapting something that's really big into a film.
I agree. I agree. And I'll give you a quick example. Um, I think a month ago I just got done reading Secret Wars because that's like the next big like Avengers movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I can tell you from there like that would not translate well onto TV or like a film. So whatever they end up doing, they have to take bits of that and make it be like its actual own thing because there's not a lot you can take from that storyline to create like a solid Avengers level type
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, yeah. When has Marvel ever, tried to
Yeah,
directly
and
adapt a comic book? I don't think that's a bad.
they don't really stick to source material either, which is what I like. It gives you kind of like another storyline that what could have been and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like honestly, like just reading about these characters and kind of getting to know them a little bit is really I don't know. It just fleshes out the character so much more. Like Scott Pilgrim, if you read the graphic novel, he's just so much more fleshed out in the
Yeah,
graphic novel. Like I think there's even in the graphic novel you get to meet Knife's dad, and he's like a ninja assassin that's always chasing
Oh,
Scott. But obviously
interesting.
they didn't they left that out for the movie. But it would have just been cool to kind of like explore that.
it's an interesting one because I think if something isn't a very accurate adaptation of something, it can be immediately labeled as bad. Where
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
think you should like first judge something: is this a good film? And then, oh, is it a good adaptation? Because if it's a good film, like who cares if it like gets a couple it depends on the
Hey, when I
content.
was a kid, I thought the Fantastic Four with Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan was great. And then I grew older and then I started analyzing a little bit more. And then I realized that after the first act of that film, the movie kind of like loses me. But I think the first act of that film is phenomenal. Like if you were to show me the first act, I would have been like, this is amazing. Like I want to keep this movie around. But the second and third act, it's just where it loses
Wait, you
me.
said when you were a kid.
When I was 14, when I was 15, when I didn't
Yeah,
have as much knowledge and I wasn't criticizing a movie as much as I like, I don't criticize them as now, but I watch him and I understand them and I really like try to like understand the director and every choice and decision made for certain scenes. Back then, I was just watching to watch, just like kind of feed my eyes with entertainment. And now I'm more like,
yeah. To be honest, when Fan Four Stick first came out, I think I could probably say the only reason I didn't like it was because I knew all the people online that I liked didn't like it. So I'm like, oh, this is a bad film. And then you gain some media literacy and you can.
I remember being so excited for that movie.
me
Like
too.
I remember knowing about it before it was announced and like watching it and like being so psyched. And then
You
I was
watched
just
it before it
so
was
bored.
announced.
No, like I was like watching it
Wow,
like,
that's really. How do you?
I hate you. Like it was like on Wikipedia, like, an untitled Fantastic Four
Yeah,
project is coming out in 2014 or 2015.
2014, I think. Apollo Creed as Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch. Amazing.
And for sick. It was 2015.
Oh, okay.
That's my special talent.
wow, how useful. Anyway, uh, try and win a trivia game, Harlan.
I have once, maybe.
I can't even remember who it was against, but I do remember you winning one.
I think you gave it to me. I think like whoever was, it may have been like Liz or somebody, and they were just like, just give him the point.
And the good news is when we do our big quizzes, we've done them twice now. You haven't come last.
That's true. I always get like bottom 2,
Yeah.
but
At least
that's
it's
not
on
good.
last.
Exactly. That's my goal. As long as I'm not at the bottom, I think I'm doing all right.
Nicely done. Okay. Cool. Harlan, what would you
Being-
rate Scott Pilgrim versus the World out of 10?
I think I would give it a 9. 9 out of 10. Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Solid. What about you, Coco?
Same, 9 out of 10. I feel like I'd be biased if I said 10 out of 10 because then the search for the perfect 10 out of 10 just ends there. It's just like there's no more looking,
Right.
guys. Scott Pilgrim is the 10 out of 10. I'd say just a 9 out of 10 is a solid choice for
Yeah.
me.
I mean, I was gonna say 9, but we can't all pick the same number.
No, you can agree because
No,
if it's
we
a
can't. I'm
9,
gonna go 8.5.
Wow.
well, can I ask where that 0.5 was deducted by? Was it just by popular choice, or did you actually?
There are some pretty bad wigs in this film. You know, like get better wigs.
Yeah, like
They're bad
Ramona's
wigs?
wigs.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't really notice
a lot
bad
of the
wigs.
exes wear wigs as well. That just
I just noticed that. Yeah, like half of them. Wait, no, like almost all of them.
yeah, like
Does
Chris,
Chris Evans wear a wig?
doesn't.
No.
Brandon Ralph doesn't. I think the rest do.
Yeah.
I've got a good wig dar. I'll spot a wig anywhere.
Wigdar. I like
Tim
that.
has one too. No. The drummer of the band, Scott's
Oh,
Ooh,
just like a
I'm not
bowl
sure.
cut, like a bowl red hair cut. Like
I don't know,
that looks fake.
but it's a weird choice if it's a wig. You know,
I know.
it's a weird. I don't know. It's a weird choice either way. I do feel like the wigs and like this film does have like a kind of plasticky aesthetic to it that works. Anyway,
that's true.
thank you for joining us, Coco, and thank
Oh,
you
you guys are so
thank you for
welcome.
coming on.
for once again destroying Harlan at the trivia game.
One day.
Maybe.
Do you want to plug your stuff?
Oh yeah, if you guys want to follow me on all socials, I'm CocoGNZ. That's CoCoGNZ. And yeah, I try to upload daily whenever I can and try to bring fun facts and just everything around pop culture really that I can. We're almost at a 100K, so
Yes,
keep-
you are.
we're
And that
almost
is
there.
very soon.
linked below.
What's that?
I said it's linked below. All your
It's-
stuff will be linked below.
Oh,
That was
thank you
just
guys.
my reminder to me to link it below.
Note to self. Link it
Yes,
below.
Note to self. Link. Everyone's now going to go check to see if it's linked below to see. It will be. I'm good like that. Okay.
I love that. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks
Of
for
course,
coming
we
on.
appreciate
It's
you.
Good to talk to you.
Adios.
You guys are welcome. Thank you guys.
Bye.
See ya.